Sure did. Thank you, Prime Minister. Hello, I'm Ed Cavalier and welcome to TV Burp. There's over 16,000 hours of TV in a week and we've watched almost every last minute. So now we bring you our favourite moments. And tonight, seabirds fail landing test on nature's great events.
But even now, Dad sticks close by.
Oh! So close. Skeletor gets bowl valued on Antiques Roadshow.
I long to know how you come to have it.
I inherited
Skeletor.
it from my mother-in-law.
And Andre, chock full of confidence on MasterChef.
I believe in myself. I believe in my sausage.
Yeah. You gotta believe. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. Yes, MasterChef reached its shattering climax on Sunday, with Julie going home the winner.
You are Australia's first MasterChef.
Ah, what a finale. I just loved how they brought back all of the MasterChef contestants for the final. And weren't they so pleased for Julie?
You get $100,000 in cool, hard cash.
Yeah, you should see Chris when he's really happy. Chris was the favourite to win for a long time, so it was a big surprise when he got eliminated.
Chris, it's been a long journey, but I'm afraid you haven't made the final cut, and it's time to leave the MasterChef kitchen. Thank you.
Yeah, and like all losing contestants, he was chauffeured away in the back of a big black car, although Judge Matt Preston did suggest an alternative means of transport.
Chris, how are you going to feel if you go home on the back of a macaroon?
You're going home on the back of a macaroon. I think all the MasterChef contestants were fantastic. They were the best amateur chefs in the country. For them, no dish was too difficult.
Yes, just go to do them. Damn it! Burning my toast.
Oh, except toast. And so, after more than 70 episodes, we bid farewell to MasterChef. But we're left with so many fond memories. Like the time when Sarah, the show's host, told us the kind of food that she and her family just love to cook.
And finally, we have Margaret Fulton. My grandmother cooked Margaret Fulton, my mother cooked Margaret Fulton, and I cooked Margaret Fulton.
Yeah, maybe you should stop cooking Margaret Fulton. There's hardly any of her left. But I think my favourite MasterChef moment was when they left the gas on at that wedding party.
This is going to be extremely tight.
Oh! They're okay, folks. To Neighbours now, and there's always someone hooking up and breaking up on Ramsey Street. There's a new young stud in town, and he's found himself right in the middle of a love triangle with Libby and Steph. Ooh. Can you blame them? There must be something in the air. There's love triangles all over the place. Sonny and Zeke have got themselves caught up in one with a postbox. Something about those postboxes on Neighbours, they're just so sexy. Just ask Susan. Can't keep herself away. Loves it. Woo! Hot. But back to Sonny and Zeke. And these two have hooked up ever since Sonny arrived in Erinsborough from Korea on the Make Neighbours More Multicultural exchange program. And they were going great until they had a big fight and Sonny stormed off into the bush.
Richard, I'm so lost. Sonny, you're dropping out. You need to stay still so I can hear you, okay? Is this okay?
Oh, no, she's lost. Luckily, she's done the smart thing by sitting next to a cliff. Or, as she would say, a cliffy.
Well, it's cliffy. And there are a lot of trees and there's a lot of...
Sonny! Sonny!
What happened?
I heard her scream.
It's okay, Sonny. I've got you. It's all going to be... Oh. Ooh. Go limp. Go with it. and full, Sonny. Let's see what the judges thought of your performance.
5.
5.
Oh.
5.
What? Oh. Over to Gardening Australia now, a show all about gardening in Australia. Always full of up-to-date plant news.
Look at this. Isn't it beautiful? A brand new tomato plant. And that can mean only one thing.
Tomatoes.
The dry season.
Damn. Now to CSI Miami. And of all the big US crime shows, this would have to be our favourite. With Mr. Cool himself, Horatio Caine, and his signature sunglasses move.
It's not looking too good, Horatio.
On the contrary, there's a chance this girl is alive, and we are gonna find her.
Yeah! I know why he's wearing sunglasses all the time, because if he doesn't, you can tell that he's non-stop perving.
Mrs. Gannon?
Hey, eyes up here, mate.
What's wrong with me?
Stop staring.
Nothing.
Does he ever stop? Come on, Horatio. Oh.
This is why we do it, isn't it?
Bad man. Which brings us to our I Beg Your Pardon of the Week.
I beg your pardon of the week.
On May 2nd, 2006, when you were arrested in New York for criminal possession of a weapon, what kind of weapon did you have?
I never got arrested with...
See you after the break. And welcome back to TV Burp. Speed limit increased to 300 on recruits. Malcolm Douglas tames the land on In the Bush with Malcolm Douglas. Naughty rock, naughty rock. And spontaneous movement to liberate former US Vice President on Merlin.
Free Al Gore!
Free Al Gore! Now, I think we are all loving Millionaire Hot Seat. The contestants are having a great time. But when it comes to saying goodbye, things can get a little awkward.
Shame.
Okay.
That's the old...
Thanks,
mate. Good on you, pal.
On the other hand, if it's awkward hellos you want, then the show for you is Ready, Steady, Cook.
Mr. Jared Ingersoll! Hey, Big Jared. In the green kitchen.
Mr. Jared Ingersoll, To Airways now, a new reality show set in an airport following passengers on low-cost airlines. There was a touching love story between Gary and Lynn, and that Gary, he's such an old romantic.
Her partner worked with him and said, come and meet this guy, and yeah, and we just sort of liked each other from day one, didn't we?
Very well grunted, Gary. Now, I happen to know a little secret. Gary's planning on proposing, and if I know Gary, he's going to do it somewhere romantic, somewhere quiet, like Tahiti at sunset.
Will you be my bride?
Yes.
Or in broad daylight at the crowded check-in area at Adelaide Airport with everybody staring at him. Took him 3 years to get down on one knee and 2.5 to get back up. Meanwhile, some other passengers are in for a big surprise.
There's one announcement no passenger wants to hear, ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, we regret to advise that flight T675 to the Gold Coast has been cancelled. But the good news is that your pain and suffering is being recorded for a television show. So if you could please look shocked and disappointed, that would really help us out. Thank you.
Well, eventually the angry passengers were allowed to board their plane. But then they found out the in-flight entertainment wasn't working and they wouldn't be able to watch Australia the Movie Extended Edition. Oh, hang on. Maybe it's good news. Personally, I think the pilot put it best.
Some days it doesn't all go to plan. Some days tiger bites you and some days you bite the tiger.
Not the tiger? All right, people, look out. The fast-paced, all-action cops of Rush are back, keeping us safe, getting rid of crims from the streets and the unwanted hair from your upper lip.
Stay still and pull this tape off your face, okay?
Pins out.
That's gaffer smooth. Now, I don't know if you know this, but the team from Rush are the current Australian synchronised boot opening champions. Ready, fellas? And go. Ooh, very nice. All right, let's see what the judges thought.
5.
Oh.
5.
Oh.
5.
5? Much, Mark? Come on, it's better than that. Now, I think something's happened with Rush. They've come back this season with so many new and exciting innovations. Mobile waxing, synchronised boot opening, and the music now has a kind of international flavour. Now, if you happen to be at home during the day, no sickie is complete without an episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. 21 years on Australian television and better than ever. This week, the guys on Bold were into day 12 of a charity staring competition. Let's get an update. Good on them, staring for the kids. Unfortunately, poor old Mike's got a nasty case of the fire crotch.
I say your son goes to prison.
Convince me otherwise.
A little bit of cream will clear that right up, Mike. Now, I watch a lot of telly, and to be honest, I'm just starting to wonder if I'm just going to see the same old stuff over and over again.
Don't you love it when every now and then you see something new and exciting which really captures your imagination?
Yes, I do.
Well, I'm going to show you something like that today.
Yes, what is it, man?
It's a range of caravans from Nova Cans.
New caravans? Oh, my goodness. Can you believe it? It's the moment we've been all waiting for. New caravans. We'll be right back after the break. New caravans. And welcome back to TV Burp. Cheapest airline seats ever on Getaway. Susan decides to stop travelling for sex on Neighbours.
No, I made a pact this year. If I couldn't get it within 1 kilometre of the house, we're not having it.
Okay. And Donkey Kong, alive and well on Sea Patrol. Donkey? Hey, is it me or does Charlie's bum look big in her new uniform?
Look, I just want you to know that I'm sorry for the way things turned out.
This week, Angelo and May were having relationship troubles, so she turned to Miles for help, but he's having trouble getting his head around all of the details.
Weren't you moving with Angelo?
We broke up.
What?
What?
We broke up. I caught him with someone.
What?
What?
I decided to resign.
What?
What? You're going to have to slow it down a bit for him, May. But the big news this year on Home and Away was, of course, the all-girl kissing scene.
I do not think that I'm hot. Don't you? I mean, honestly? No.
Well, I think you are.
Here at TV Burp, we love nothing more than feel-good TV, and things don't get any more feel-good than Random Acts of Kindness, the show where great Australians are rewarded for their generous deeds. Host Carl Stefanovic likes to surprise people just when they're going about their daily life.
Let's go. Greg, how are you? What's going on here?
Why don't you tell us what's going on, Greg? Hey, great news. Dancing with the Stars is back. Up to their 9th season and the competition is hot. And those judges, they're so helpful. All you have to do is listen to them and you'll be able to master any dance.
I'm sure that you could help Jared learn the feeling of the movement by association.
Association, of course. That's a great way to learn the foxtrot. Association with what?
You've been in a car together, and you'd be driving, of course. OK, you'd be going down a road with road humps in it.
OK, Helen, yeah, I'll go with this, yeah.
So you'd have the smooth, you'd have the slight rise, the evenness at the top of the rise, the lowering, and then the smoothness again. OK, so that is not a perfect example of the movement of a foxtrot.
No, yeah, I guess you're right. It's more like driving a blind guy over some speed humps. But we'll move on. So far, we've lost dancers Spider Everett and Millsy. But the big story has been blind dancer Jared Gossens. He's been very influential. I noticed this week that Adam Brand's making a very cheap grab for the physically challenged vote by pretending he's got no legs.
The move that's killing me.
That's... no, I can see them.
Flip up off the floor.
That's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful, Adam. I tell you where they're obsessed with Dancing with the Stars. Over at All Saints Medical Response Unit. Head nurse Von had a very tough time. She was the one that had to break the news of Millsy's elimination to one of his biggest fans.
No. No.
Sandy, we did everything possible.
Yes, and Von is doing everything she can to keep her favourite, Adam Brand, in the competition.
Yes. Oh, I was calling about Adam.
Good stuff, Von. Keep those votes coming. In the medical response unit, you deal with all kinds of tragedies. Human life in the balance, life and death decisions, and if you're Dr. Charlotte Beaumont, unsuccessful trips to the vending machine.
The only woman I've ever loved.
No change?
No change. What a bummer. Which brings us to our TV highlight of the week.
The question is, how do we go about fixing it? Well, I think we can fix it very simply. That's probably the answer to our problem.
We'll see you after the break. Welcome back to TV Birth, to Time Team now. And this is a fun little show where British historians tape a few wires to a Zimmer frame and go looking for signs of buried churches.
Before we can date our chapel on the island, we need to find it. And there are some pretty good indications where it stood.
Yeah, those big lumps of chapel might be a clue. This week we're on Loo Island, searching for St Michael's Church. Now, historians tell us that the ancient inhabitants of Loo had all sorts of beliefs on how the Cornish saints came to Loo Island.
And St Ia, who is the patron saint of St Ives, came over on a leaf, believe it or not.
No, I don't believe it. No, definitely don't believe it. But just who was St Michael?
St Michael seems pretty popular. Who was he?
Well, he's an angel. He is the commander-in-chief of God's armies. And so you have to imagine him and them up in the skies, keeping us all safe from the devil and his guerrillas.
Fair enough. To recruits now. And over the past 10 weeks, we've followed their journey from new recruits to fully fledged police officers. And did you know that when you join the police, you can either go into the Armed Response Unit, the Drug Squad, or the Bathroom Mould and Mildew Eradication Force?
It's the last session of college, and the student recruits prepare.
Once you've gone through basic training, it's all about being strong and intimidating the criminals.
An observant eye can save your life.
You've been identified as an armed and dangerous vehicle.
And you've been identified as a wuss with a pink gun who shouts at parked cars. If you manage to master the pink gun, they move you on to real firearms.
Students must pass a series of tests, including single-handed shooting, multiple targets,
and the one thing that you really have to look out for on a firing range, paper attack. Jeez. The recruits training is designed to simulate real-life police experiences and prepare them for the sort of situations they will encounter in everyday police work, like when you have to arrest A giant sleeping lobster man.
Hey, right there, mate. Can you get up for us?
Wake up, mate. Hey, wake up.
No, don't even think about waking him. He'll turn.
Listen, mate, get back. Get back, mate. Get back, mate.
Hey!
Stay there. Stay there. Don't move.
Stay down on the ground. I'm going to arrest you now.
Yeah, I'm glad they took him down. That guy was giving it some of this all night. Well, that's all we've got time for tonight. So to take us out singing the B-52's hit Rock Lobster from Recruits, it's Giant Lobster Man. Good night.
We were at the beach. Everybody had matching towels. Somebody went under a dock, and there they saw a rock. But it wasn't a rock. It was a rock lobster.
Thanks, Giant Lobster Man. That's all the TV Burp we've got for you this week.